tutti ragazzi e bentornati a un nuovo episodio di The End of Glory. Dunque, un'ultima volta eravamo stati praticamente buttati definitivamente fuori dalla polizia e abbiamo fatto buttare anche lei, poverina. Alice, vediamo che dice.
How's it going?
C'è una questione che dobbiamo chiudere prima che questa storia finisca, è il tuo ciuffo. No, sti cazzi. Portiamo a casa l'indagine, recluta. Vabbè, direi che possiamo andarcene dall'appartamento, no? Ah, qui addirittura era tutto crollato. Ah, avevamo preso sto coso.
It emanated a power I was able to neither decipher nor
Ma se lo faccio
quantify.
vedere a lei?
Plus, I couldn't look at it for too long without feeling a sense of discomfort.
Questo invece che era? Braccialetto tracciante. Ma se lo facciamo vedere a lei, che questa riesce a trovare tutto su internet, che non è... cioè, è un hacker praticamente. Vediamo un po' che dice.
I thought it was better to look for another solution.
No, non lo vuole chiedere a lei, va bene. Quindi direi, vediamo un attimo qua il bordello che è
That
successo.
destroyed frame recalled bad memories.
La cassetta delle lettere che è
Who knows what they hope
aperta.
to find in there except dust, spiders, and maybe some outstanding bill. Then, at the bottom of the box, I saw an abandoned envelope.
Ah, c'è una busta abbandonata. Alla gentile attenzione del dottor Bundy, brutto figlio di puttana, ti ammazzerò. Con affetto normale cittadino, regolare contribuente.
One step forward. For the moment, I didn't consider him a threat. Law enforcement was chasing him all over the country, forcing him on the run. But I just knew that one day I would find myself face to face with Blowtorch again.
Eh sì. Allora, andiamo
My
a vedere.
investigations in Miami were temporarily suspended.
E quindi che possiamo fare? Ah, dobbiamo andare a
I
prendere
would not
qui,
be
mi
able to
sa.
reach that little object even if I stretched to the maximum. I'd need some sort of tool or extension.
Ok, allora possiamo usare
Now it
questo.
was within my reach.
Il cellulare.
And there was the little object I had glimpsed the night before. Radwed's smartphone. Finally in my hand.
Perfetto, quindi adesso cosa dovremo da fare? Redwood ha lasciato cadere qualcosa nella voragine fuori casa mia. Cellulare, mostrare ad Alice. Ok, Alice, ho preso il cellulare, ti. Tutto tuo. Ah, che rizza,
Hey.
che rizza.
How's it going?
Ho recuperato il
I
pacchetto.
recovered the pack.
Tell me you were spot on and that we have Rodwed's phone.
You better believe it.
Seriously? So taking all those blows was worth it.
Taking all those blows. Since when did you start speaking like a bar brawler?
Since I've been hanging out with you. Give me the device, quick.
Can you get anything from it? Useful information that will get us closer to Catherine?
I can and I will. Let me work. I just have to open the tracking software.
Well, let's be clear though. He took the most of the beating.
Ma l'Arstraker?
I don't need to
User?
explore my computer.
Ma io gli apri tutto.
There's
Cestino che
nothing but
c'è?
garbage in there.
Robaccia.
Only
Saturnio.
if I need to do online searches. Lars is
L'Arstraker.
right here. I don't have to track him.
Hey, who designed the icon?
Do you like it? I did my best.
Ma è
Not
carinissima
bad.
l'icona.
Especially the scarf.
There's the documents
Documenti.
for my internship, a copy of my lease, and a bit of other stuff. Nothing useful right now.
Tracker.
Okay, I'll launch
Allora,
the tracking
vediamo un po'
program.
il programma di
Now I'll connect the
tracciamento.
smartphone to the laptop and wait for the readout of the results.
So now we will be able to track the calls made with this device?
We should be, but the tracker wasn't able to find enough data from the phone. I guess it's shielded. Darn. Do you see the area that appeared on the map? It indicates the place where Rodwed's phone seems to have been used lately.
Oh, too vast to identify the precise spot. Tell me you still have one more trick up your sleeve or I'll start crying.
I could try to monitor the incoming signals received in the last few days. If we can obtain at least 3 readings, we could triangulate the signal's directions and find the location where Rodwed was at the time of the calls. Here's the first signal. Judging by the reference radio tower, the call must have originated from the old factory building.
Mama did mention she had called Radwed, now that I think about it.
And here's another signal, this time closer to the coast. Any ideas?
Probably the harbor office contacting Radwed after accepting his bribe. Maybe to clarify a few details about that night.
It all fits. And I guess I have access to a third signal. 1 minute and... oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, the fact that the icon is sizzling and dancing all around is not a good sign, is it?
Not at all. The signal comes from a radio tower near the Molesburg mansion, but the results are disturbed. I guess they installed some kind of shielding device specifically to prevent being tracked.
All right, I'm on it. Just tell me what I have to do.
Take this device for starters. Once you get to the Molesburg residence, use it to track the source of the disturbance.
What should I look for exactly?
A telephone jammer. That is to say, a little device equipped with antennas. When you find it, put this tracker on top. It is also programmed to deactivate the jamming device. Once it is taken out of the equation, come back to me, and I'm sure we'll get something.
No sooner said than done. I'll be back here in no time.
Ah, ok, c'è andato da solo, perfetto.
The signal didn't point exactly towards the house, but to the garden. I had to figure out where they stuck this you know, the radio thingy. I was able to cross the garden without being noticed by anyone, following the signal up to the gardener's shed. I found the device behind one of those stacked crates. Following Alice's instructions, I put the device I had with me on top of it. Then Alice would be able to...
Did I really need to do that, Mama dear?
Sure
Un
you
po'
did,
ragagnolino.
idiot. Didn't you see that bunch of fleas was going to bite my hindquarters?
If you say so, Mama.
Don't hold a grudge on me now. We followed that shorty this far, but where did he go?
Come out of there, Stallone!
Not in the garbage, you idiot! He must be in the shed. Now be quiet and let's wait for him to come out.
Trapped again. Mom and Eugene didn't want to drop the ball.
Vediamo quante volte
Get out
credo.
of that shed, I would have to devise one of my genius ideas, and fast.
Allora, letto.
Flea-bitten, creased,
Non
the
c'è
only adjective that...
niente. No. Il VC
The toilet could have been useful, but it was secured with...
era fissato con delle viti. Ci abbiamo qualcosa per svitare? Abbiamo l'antenna appuntita? No. Togli sto coso. Le casse davanti alla
I could have
porta.
used the crates to barricade the shed, but sooner or later Eugene would manage to enter all the same. Then I saw the opening above the door, and my brain cells started to activate. I could build a
Apertura.
ladder using what I found in the shed, and the box seemed like something I should remember. But for the base, I need something more solid.
Ok. Quindi
Sir-
il frigorifero.
That fridge was emptier than mine.
Che cacchio c'è?
I just found a
dentro?
honey pot that could
Un
be
barattolo
useful.
di miele.
Grope a
topiario.
statue made of grass. Why not?
E che ci guadagna da strizzargli le cose? Scaffale basso.
I'd have picked up the sprayer if it didn't contain a strange and probably toxic greenish liquid. I don't know why, but I've always had a passion for vaporizers. That
Medio.
rope might have been useful if it wasn't rotten from its first to last fiber.
E allora che dice? Fa
The shears were
alto.
inviting, but I would have felt like a worm depriving the gardener of his best tool. Nah,
chi se ne
only
frega.
kidding. I didn't steal them only because they were all rusty.
Appunto. Quindi porta, casse, vadre, cumulo di
I picked up a
sassi.
handful.
Ne puoi
I
raccogliere
already had
altri? Ne aveva già un po'. Quindi con un cumulo di sassi all'apertura.
Better think about it.
Nel miele.
A jar, jam-packed with sweet
Il dolce miele
bunch of
ambrato.
pebbles. If I had hoped to use them as a weapon, I would end up to
Sei
knock down
rimasto
Eugene. I would need-
deluso. C'è altro? Casse avevamo detto col
The toilet
Vader
and
no.
crates might have helped me get a better view of the situation.
Col topiario
I thought it was better to look
e
in
col
that
frigo.
moment-
No. Vediamo, c'è altro che si illumina. Letto, scaffale, scaffale, l'apertura.
Maybe that opening would give me a tactical advantage.
Quello sto
Mama had a
cercando di
gun.
fare.
Well, I wasn't sure that facing them directly was the...
Sì, no, non devi uscire da così. Allora, abbiamo preso dei sassolini e abbiamo del miele. E dice che dobbiamo riuscire ad aprire sta cosa del
The
water.
toilet could have been useful.
Fissato con
The
delle
toilet seat was up.
viti.
That was enough to know that no...
Quei sassi?
I didn't understand how that could possibly help
Sono
me.
d'accordo con te. Il magnete con
In that
l'attaccapanni?
moment, it didn't seem... Was it really worth it?
Non lo so. La chiave inglese sul
Investigator,
water?
cook, tightrope walker, and now also plumber.
Ah, ok, andava bene quello. Ah, perché sono le viti quelle lì grosse, ok. Vai, sposta sto coso. Qua.
I could have used the toilet to barricade the shed, but sooner or later Eugene would manage to enter. Then I saw the opening above the door, and my brain cells started to activate.
Sì, l'ha già detto.
I never thought
Apertura.
I'd say something like this, but the toilet bowl was
Era
perfect for
perfetta
the
per lo
job.
scopo. Ok. Vai, spostatela là.
Well, now the shed had a comfortable floor toilet.
Poi le casse sul
Another
water.
step in building my stairway to heaven.
E ci vai? Ti basta? Dai.
How long do we have to stay here, Mama?
All the
Ma povero
time we need, you
cagnolino.
redneck.
Ma l'hanno
Sooner or
ammazzato.
later, he'll decide to come out of there.
Che stronzi di merda.
Overwhelm him with my bare hands? Sure.
Can we go now?
Poor animal had been put to rest forever. Found the power of persuasion that woman had over
No,
Eugene
non si fa
horrifying.
così, non si fa
And
così.
now?
No!
I couldn't do anything from there.
Non potevo fare niente da lì. Però abbiamo il miele su Eugene. Così le api vanno là.
Mama, it started raining.
Don't talk nonsense, you big monkey! Can't you see there's not even a cloud in the sky?
But I was sure that...
Beh, ho buttato il miele. Non... Ah, sassolini sull'alveare. Sdon.
Mama! Mama!
Eugene, you idiot! Get back here immediately!
Ammazzala, sta maledetta. Ha fatto male a un cane, io dico.
2-0 for me, Mama. I knew that wouldn't be the last meeting with the two henchmen. But for the time being, I had dodged a bullet. Then I saw Bobby on the ground. Eugene had clearly let him fall as he ran. It was a great relief to have him back in my possession. It was high time to beat it.
Ma povero cagnolino, però, non si fa così. Dunque, ho disattivato il coso. Ora Alice dovrebbe essere in grado di esaminare il cellulare. Ok. Vai Alice, sei tutti noi.
Hey,
How's it going?
Il dispositivo è
the
andato.
device is gone. I'd like to specify that I risked my life once again to make it possible.
Perfect. We should have what we need to continue with our search. There. Now we have all 3 signals we'll use for tracking.
And how do we proceed now?
Do you see the light trails? They show the direction of the outgoing calls from the radio towers. I just have to select the radio tower to manipulate and use the 2 arrows on the lower left to rotate the signal.
But how will you know when you've set them the right way?
The signals will become more defined once they're arranged in their correct orientation. And once all 3 are done, we'll have the general position of Rodwed's cell phone at the moment the calls were received.
Hey, I actually understood that.
Now let me work.
Questo è un gioco.
What's that stuff?
What stuff?
That thing that looks like an evil jester.
Oh, that's a trailer a guy outside the HPD sent me. I still haven't had the chance
Pensavo
to
che aveva
watch it.
installato un gioco.
Didn't your parents tell you not to accept trailers from strangers?
Allora, quindi, data 1.
I'd be out of the area of interest.
Uscire dalla zona interessata. No, non uscire dalla zona interessata. Area 2. Area 3. Boh. Che ne so?
I'd be out of the area.
No, non vai uscire, scusa. Boh, e come faccio a capire sta cosa? Cioè, non è che ti dice sì, va bene qua, va bene là.
I'd be out of the.
Non lo so. Forse quello su. Questo giù. Non ne ho idea. Forse dove diventa più scuro. Così dovrebbe essere, però. Se è come dico io, così è più scuro, no? Ah no, così diventa ancora più scuro.
Lars, come here.
Eccolo.
I think I got it. The
Ok.
signals seem well defined. These are the exact directions of
perché
the
sono
phone
più
calls.
indefiniti, ok,
If we
ok.
consider only the area where the 3 signals overlap and narrow it down to the circular area we're inspecting...
We obtain a decidedly small zone. In the Everglades, that would make sense.
In that vicinity, there only seems to be an old, unused building I cannot find any official papers for.
We found it. This is the place they brought Catherine. I'd bet my hat. We have to go, now.
Hold on. We need to think carefully. You always go and charge in without a plan, and as a result, you've risked your life many times since this case started. We must be extra cautious instead. We have very few hours of light left, so we might as well wait until tomorrow. In the meantime, we will formulate a safe approach plan. We could even consider involving Burton. After all, we're dealing with a teenager's life here.
I'm not entirely convinced, but all right. For once, I'll try to restrain myself.
Perfect. At this point, would you mind if I stay over? We could save a few precious hours.
Be my guest. The bed is right over there. And on the other hand, I can see that you and the sofa are meant for each other, so I don't want to come between you.
You're really the last of the knights, Lazarus Bundy.
What would happen to Catherine Malsberg if I didn't make my move in time? And besides, how much would I expose Alice by involving her in all this? Those were the questions that kept me awake. The answers to those same questions finally helped me to understand what I had to do. I was going to be alone for the last time.
16 novembre, Everglades.
I reached the place in the middle of the night. I had to leave Green Dart a few hundred feet away because of the rugged and swampy terrain. A lonely wooden building arose in the desolate Everglades landscape. There was no light that hinted of a human presence, but I was sure I was in the right place.
È una palude
I needed
praticamente.
to arm myself before proceeding.
Porca vacca. Ecco, mo non siamo più armati.
Alligators. The Everglades were haunted by those fanged demons. With a single blow, I had lost my source of light and my only defensive weapon. Oh, to
Ma perché
hell
non si
with
porta
me
armi
and my
vere?
dislike of
Capisco, non ti
firearms.
piacciono però. Che cazzo.
The structure was dark and silent. I didn't think there was anyone inside.
Dunque, ci siamo, quel capanno abbandonato è alla fine della pista. Ok, prova a entrare.
Obviously, the door was closed.
Ovviamente la porta è chiusa. Finestra. Cosa riusciamo a vedere? Oltre alla finestra, la
The door was
porta.
massive, and the handle absolutely
Era
out
fuori
of reach.
portata.
The lower hatch, though, seemed promising.
Lo sportello. Ah, ok, lo
reach
sportello
it.
questo qua. Va bene. Cosa possiamo usare per lo sportello? Proviamo l'attaccapanni.
With that, I could reach the latch keeping the hatch closed.
Dai.
The lower hatch of the door was open.
Vai, passa da qua. Ah, pensavo la
The
fogliolina,
hatch was
dovevamo
designed for
prenderla.
a small animal, not a human, so I could never squeeze
Dai,
through it.
mica sei così grosso, ci
The
passa
hatch was
sì.
designed-
Vabbè, che è. Passaci il panda.
The hatch was designed.
Sì, l'ho
hatch was
capito,
designed for-
aspetta, fermate. Antenna appuntita.
The hatch was.
Cioè, non mi fa usare niente.
The hatch was designed.
No. E che l'abbiamo aperto a fare allora? Si illumina altro? No, si illumina solo sportello e porta.
Obviously, the.
La porta era chiusa. Qua non mi fa neanche più usare. Panda con lo
Sometimes
sportello.
My.
Questa appuntita con lo
Sometimes-
sportello. L'attaccapanni con lo sportello. Questo per aprire la
I thought
porta.
it was better to look for another.
Il magnete.
No matter how hard I tried.
Da qui non me li fa usare gli oggetti.
The hatch was.
No.
The trick of the key
Ah,
dropping
okay.
on a newspaper and then slipping it under the door only worked in the movies. But I had another idea in mind. I'd broken my very useful antenna, but at least I was able to poke the key out of the lock and make it fall on the floor of the cabin.
Ok, questo è l'altro enigma di Pix.
The trick had worked to perfection.
Ok, abbiamo la chiave. Quindi, apri la porta e entriamo, vediamo.
The shed was completely empty, with the exception of an abandoned envelope on the table.
Quindi, vabbè, questo è quello che ci serve. C'è altro di utile da vedere? Però c'è un fucile lì, insomma, potrebbe essere comodo. Comunque non c'è altro. Busta, vediamo.
With a trembling hand, I picked up the envelope.
Vediamo le
I couldn't
foto.
believe what I saw. Me, climbing the wall of Molesberg's residence. So somebody had been spying on me since the beginning of my investigation?
Pare di sì. E poi?
The bowling night with Alice. I'd exposed that girl beyond all acceptable limits. The interrogation of Duke Ravendish. So they knew I was looking for the Seat Lalique. That's why Radwood was so calm. Just as I thought,
Ci hanno seguito
the daring
ovunque.
escape from the Seat Lalique aboard M's raft. Those fanatics have been following my moves step by step.
Look what we have here.
Ah.
I prepared a little show for you, Detective. Now relax and let me work. The spectacle is under construction.
Siamo morti praticamente.
You.
Not another
Sta
step,
nuda, poverino.
Detective, or I might lose control of this old, trembling hand and make a fine mess. Hands in the air,
Ah, il
and
bambino
no
ha
tricks.
partorito.
If you so much as touch her,
For goodness sake, Bundy, do what he tells you.
Wise suggestion, Eric. We don't want this innocent creature to suffer any premature pain, do we?
For the love of God, let my grandson go.
First you give me your daughter, and now you pretend to play the role of the thoughtful grandfather.
the kidnapping wasn't planned. Molesberg had promised not only Catherine, but also the baby born of your relationship.
But it seems that the word of a businessman carries very little weight these days.
I was blinded. All the power you promised me isn't worth the sacrifice of...
Sto stronzo, ammazzalo.
Eric. This knife is becoming heavier and heavier.
If this is really the end of the road, at least I want to know why.
This is not a pathetic theatrical performance with a happy ending, Detective.
I've been watching you, so I know you didn't warn anybody about your solo plan. Because this is what you're used to do, isn't it? Following your ambition without any compromise. Putting your work ahead of everything else. Ahead of family. Leaving it behind in the name of your ambition. Ahead of the few friends you've had.
I fulfill the emptiness of your existence. That's why you desperately need me. And that's why you can only watch helplessly.
So now, if you don't mind...
No!
Hold it right there. Keep your hands up where I can see them.
Like this?
Vabbè, ma lasciatelo morire, se lo merita.
What the hell was that?
Where did he go?
The window, quick!
Manco controllano se riescano a salvare quello, ormai, sti cazzi.
Catherine Molesberg was rushed to the hospital, while the Everglades were scoured from the ground up by Burton's men. Radwood and the baby had disappeared without a trace. Too many questions were left unanswered. How had Radwood gained these mysterious powers? And what was the role of the doctor? Only one thing I was sure of. I had failed. I stayed out late that night. I didn't have the guts to face Alice. If she hadn't warned Burton, things would have gone even worse. Radwood had tracked all my movements. Every bit of progress I thought I had made was just one more step toward the ending he had prepared. His ending. I underestimated my enemy. Or maybe I just overestimated myself.
Entrambe.
I couldn't keep deluding myself like that. Maybe I should... drop my last line of defense.
Lars. We can't let this thing stop us. We just need...
I just need to go to bed and forget about everything.
That's it? Is this how you built your fame? By leaving things half done?
I have no energy left.
I don't believe you. Not after what I've seen.
Listen to me.
You walked on unstable ledges. You twice broke into the den of murderers you were after.
Alice.
You risked it all to save that girl. And now...
I'm dying of cancer! What? You run out of words? Didn't your kinestic superpower see that coming? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it'd take tremendous effort to hide such a disease. And you're right. And yet it's far worse than you think. Having to pretend every minute in front of others. In front of your boss, your colleagues, your neighbors, the supermarket cashier. Having to look confident, brilliant, unshakable, invincible. Yeah, I lied. I created such a well-orchestrated charade that I ended up believing it myself. I lied because I didn't want to suffer the look on your face right now. Concern, sympathy, pity. I don't want anyone looking at me like that. Not once. I was the best at what I did. I was the detective who flushed out all the cruelest and smartest criminals on the East Coast. And I need to be that guy again. Even if my body betrays me and stabbing pains pierce my mind. I was hoping this case would be the last blaze of glory for Lazarus Bundy. But maybe it's beyond my reach. I can't face all of this, Alice. Not in this condition. I can't stop them. The masquerade is over.
Colpo di scena, mica me l'aspettavo che lui stava così male. L'ha nascosto molto bene. Comunque vabbè, questa è la finale in verità della prima parte. E adesso poi ci sarà tutta la seconda parte. Quindi il gioco in verità è molto lungo. Comunque figo, eh. Sono curiosa mo di capire un attimo perché sto accordo e che poteri avrà mai quel ragazzino. Boh. Veramente curiosa. Figo, figo. Per ora mi è piaciuto tanto. Bravissimi, veramente, i ragazzi che hanno fatto questo gioco. Spero sia piaciuto anche a voi finora. Tanto poi continueremo con la seconda parte, che mi hanno detto che comunque è lunghissima, tipo questa. Cioè, come se fossero 2 giochi quasi. Tanto andremo fino alla fine, non vi preoccupate. Ma vediamo, c'è qualcosa dopo i titoli di coda. E poi dal prossimo video iniziamo la seconda parte. Tutto qui? No, non è finita.
I must have fallen asleep with my clothes on.
Non so se è iniziata automaticamente la seconda parte o è proprio questa la fine della prima parte.
What are you doing? Listen, Alice, about last night.
Remember that bomb that Catherine pointed out to you?
Yeah, I got it. I need to take a shower. You already told me.
We were wrong. The clue was referring to something else.
Hey, have you been up all night?
Everything is clear now.
Listen, I really don't want to.
Answer this, Detective. How long has it been since you've gone back to your roots?
Ooh, what?
I was just booking 2 plane tickets. We're going to Italy.
Ah sì? Ok, quindi non è ancora la fine. Quindi a seconda parte andremo in Italia, ottimo. Curiosissima. Ok, quindi come si farà? Facendo nuovo gioco? Extra? Bloccato o bloccato? Torna al gioco? Non lo so. Tanto possiamo salvare. Allora, salvare ho salvato. E vabbè ragazzi, dai, direi che per oggi quindi finiamo qui con la prima parte. E vi aspetto allora per la seconda parte, a questo punto un viaggio in Italia. Voi come sempre mettete un mi piace, lasciate un commento, iscrivetevi al canale e vi aspetto al prossimo episodio. Alla prossima, ciao ciao!